Uh, Hello, my name is Kenneth. I'm from Group 3. I'll be presenting about traditional sports in Uganda. Uganda is a country located in the African continent, in the East African region, and it can be separated into four major regions. That is the Northern region, the Eastern region, Central region, and the Western region. So traditional sports are an intangible part of our tradition. They represent games and sports that have been passed on from generation to generation, usually a reflection of our society's customs and norms. So traditional sports serve many purposes in many instances. They can be an opportunity for a person to sharpen their cognitive skills through application of techniques and strategies. Um, they enable improvement of interpersonal skills, especially for traditional sports that can be enjoyed by both the young and the elderly, where the young can be able to benefit from the wealth of knowledge from the older people. They provide a chance to express cultural pride and richness. They also foster creativity and problem solving through application of strategies. As you may notice that in many traditional sports, there are always an opportunity for you to exhibit, for you to apply creativity in order to outwit your opponents. So there have been preservation efforts. For instance, UNESCO has come up with a policy framework to safeguard traditional sports and games, and has also accorded international recognition to various traditional sports according to regions and countries. So this is meant to preserve the cultural heritage associated with traditional sports. In Uganda, other interventions such as annual festivals by local organizations like Beat FM Radio, uh, Bukede FM Radio, the Cross Cultural Foundation Uganda organize annual festivals in which various individuals are invited to showcase their talents in the traditional sports and games. Uh, Deliberate documentation and training of game rules has also been done. This is also a method that is meant to uh, ensure passage of knowledge from those who are masters, probably who are older, to the younger people so that they can appreciate them and also ensure a continuity of these sports. There are various traditional sports in Uganda, but for the sake of this session, I'll be sharing about four major traditional sports. That is the Omweso, Ekigwo, kiganda, Duulu, and Kwepena. So, Omweso is the traditional mancala game in Uganda. It is played on a board by two players, and the board contains 32 holes, which are divided into 4 rows and 8 columns. Each player starts with 32 pebbles. So the rows closest to a player's side mark his territory or his area of dominion, and likewise the 2 rows opposite for the player for his opponent. So the Omweso game is believed to have been initiated by the Bachwezi dynasty of Bunyoro Kingdom, who are the initial settlers in the central region, which is currently occupied by the Buganda Kingdom. It is estimated to be about 600 years old, and it has spread throughout the country. It is played in the central, the eastern region, and the western region of Uganda. In the initial case, it was a game played by men because of the nature of the society, which was patriarchal. But recently, even females and the young are engaged in the sport. So here is an illustration of the Omweso board. As I was saying, it consists of 4 rows and 8 columns. So in this case, the players were using seeds, the black seeds, to play. And as you can see on the right, we see this lady engaged with a man in an intense game of Omweso, as they try to apply strategies to outwit each other. The Omweso game rules, they can be divided into 4 major game rules. The first one is the sowing of seeds, which describes the pattern in which you move seeds from one hole to another. So by design, in the Omweso game, you're supposed to move seeds in the anti-clockwise direction, 1 seed per hole, until you reach the final hole where you have no more seeds to sow. The second rule is relay sowing. Now, if in your turn you reach the final hole of sowing, but in that hole there exists at least 1 seed, so you can pick all existing seeds in that hole and continue sowing until you reach a point where you can no longer sow a seed because you've run out of seeds, and in your turn does not result into direct capture. So capture here, in case on the last in your last move, you move and you direct your last seed is directly in line with 2 columns of your opponent. 2 rows of your opponent with seeds in them. You can capture all the seeds in the 2 rows and continue sowing in the same pattern. Reverse capturing. So reverse capturing is a special rule of the Omweso game. Basically, it is limited to 4 holes. So if in your sowing you see a move that you can move clockwise in 4 steps and result into a capture, you're allowed to do this. That is the reverse capturing. So the winning condition, first is the player with the last legal move becomes the winner. So basically, if you run out of legal moves to make, basically either you have no seeds or you cannot continue sowing, then you have lost. Yeah. And other winning conditions is the emitwe and the akachala. In the emitwe, you win the game if you can capture seeds in the right, in the farthest column on the right or on the left in consecutive moves. In the akachala, if you can win a game, if you can capture in 2 steps twice in a row without your opponent capturing any of your seeds, you win the game. Another traditional sport is the Ekigwo. Ekigwo is can be thought about as the Buganda wrestling sport. It is a noble sport which originated from Buganda Kingdom. It is estimated to be at least 1,000 years old, and it is usually between 2 mature males, played in a ring, in an open fence. So kings in the earlier years were known to challenge their chiefs to a duel of the Ekigwo, and it was used to test stamina and resilience of players. It is also said that the kings of the Buganda kingdom were known to select their warriors based on their resilience and stamina exhibited in the Ekigwo. So the idea of the Ekigwo is you have to put your opponent's back on the ground without causing physical harm as quickly as possible. An example here, we see two men engaged in a duel. In the first case, they are performing before the king. It's an image trying to recreate the earlier ways in which the sport was played. This on the right, we see a more current image of men engaged in a duel, and they each trying to outwit the other. Uh, so long as you are able to put your opponents back on the ground, then you win. So all physical harm, hitting, boxing, kicking, use of any other method is considered foul play and results in a loss. So yeah, as I said earlier, it involves two individuals in an open field with a ring boundary. Another traditional sport is Duulu. Duulu is or can be referred to as a floor and finger pool, which also originated from the Buganda kingdom and can be estimated to be at least 400 years old. It is a widespread game played by children and youths all around the country. It involves at least two players and can have as many as 6 players and a shallow hole in the ground. The players make use of smooth marbles or stones, and lines are drawn as boundary. For instance, it could be a 2 by 3 meter demarcation. So in the first case, all players toss their marbles towards the hole. The player with whose marble is closest to the hole becomes the first to play. So as we can see, we see this lady holding a marble, trying to aim at the opponent's marble, and this gentleman trying to aim at the hole. So in both cases, if you hit the opponent's marble, you get a point. Once you score in the hole, you get a point. Players stretch their palms and try to aim their marble or pebble by pulling the marble on one of the fingers, as illustrated in this figure. So each time the stone enters the hole, it's a point. Each time you hit the opponent, it's a point. So the first player to reach 25 points becomes the winner. But this is not cut in stone. At times the rule could be 30 or 15, depending on the game. So another traditional sport I'm talking about is Kwepena. Kwepena is estimated to be about 500 years old. It's also originated from the Buganda kingdom in the central region, and it's predominantly played by young girls and women all around Uganda in the central region, western region, and eastern parts of Uganda. It can be referred to as a soft dodgeball, involving 3 to 8 players, minimum 3 and as many as 8. So the setting is this: there are two shooters opposite each other with at least one dodger in between them. So the shooter aims to hit the dodger with a soft ball, and the dodger must use all possible tactics to avoid being hit. So we see an example here. The girl in the middle jumps, and the man tries to hit her with the soft ball. Then in the second case, the dodger is hit by the soft ball. Every time the dodger successfully dodges or is not hit by the soft ball, it's counted as a point. For multi-player setting where you have more than 3 players, each time a dodger is hit by the soft ball, they are eliminated. The last dodger standing becomes the winner. So that was a brief description of these 4 traditional sports. And these are some of my references. Thank you.